Welcome back, my dear listeners. Sometimes, the most dangerous secrets are not the ones people hide from others. They are the ones people hide from themselves. Because no matter how hard Sophia tried to deny her feelings, and no matter how desperately Daniel tried to ignore his own heart, the truth remained the same. They were already in love, and neither of them knew how to stop it. After Daniel left that morning, Sophia sat on the floor beside her suitcase and cried until she had no tears left. She hated herself. She hated Daniel. She hated fate. Most of all, she hated the fact that the one person she wanted to protect was the same person she was betraying. Her sister, Amina. The woman who had loved her since the day she was born. The woman who had shared everything with her. The woman who had never once hurt her. That evening, Sophia unpacked her suitcase. She decided not to leave. Not because she wanted to stay, but because she was afraid that leaving would raise too many questions. And questions were dangerous, especially when the answers could destroy a family. For the next few weeks, Sophia avoided Daniel. Whenever he visited, she disappeared. If he called, she ignored him. If he sent messages, she deleted them without reading. At least, that was what she told herself. The truth was that she read every message, again and again, and every message made her heart ache even more. Meanwhile, Amina noticed something strange. Her sister no longer laughed the way she used to. She no longer shared stories. She no longer sat with her late at night talking about life and dreams. It was as if a wall had suddenly appeared between them. One evening, Amina entered Sophia's room. "Are you angry with me?" she asked quietly. Sophia looked up, surprised. "What? No. Then why are you avoiding me?" The question hit Sophia like a knife. She wanted to tell the truth. She wanted to scream. She wanted to confess everything and beg for forgiveness. Instead, she smiled. "I'm just tired." Amina sat beside her. "You know you can tell me anything, right?" Those words broke something inside Sophia, because she knew she could tell Amina anything except this. A week later, Amina announced that she had to travel for 3 days to attend an important business conference. She kissed Daniel goodbye, she hugged Sophia, and before leaving, she smiled and said something that Sophia would never forget. "Take care of each other while I'm gone." Neither Sophia nor Daniel realized that those words would haunt them forever. The first day passed quietly. The second day was worse. That evening, a terrible storm hit the city. Rain poured from the sky. Thunder shook the windows. And at almost midnight, someone knocked on Sophia's door. She opened it. Daniel stood there, completely soaked, his face pale, his eyes filled with something she had never seen before: fear. "What happened?" she asked. "My mother," he whispered. "She was taken to the hospital." Without thinking, Sophia grabbed her coat. "I'll come with you." The drive to the hospital felt endless. Neither of them spoke. Neither of them dared to. After several hours, the doctors finally came out. Daniel's mother was stable. She would survive. The relief hit Daniel so hard that he nearly collapsed. Without thinking, Sophia held him, and for a moment, they forgot everything. The engagement, the promises, the guilt, the betrayal. There were no sisters, no weddings, no rules. Just two broken people holding each other in the middle of the night. Then Daniel looked at her, really looked at her. And Sophia knew. She knew what was about to happen. She should have stepped back. She should have walked away. Instead, she stayed. And Daniel kissed her. The world stopped. The hospital disappeared. The storm disappeared. Everything disappeared. There was only guilt and love, and the terrible understanding that they had just crossed a line they could never uncross. Sophia pulled away first, Her entire body was shaking. "No," she whispered. "No, no, no." Daniel looked horrified. "Sophia, don't." She stepped back. "You have to leave." "I didn't mean, you have to leave." For the first time since they had met, Daniel obeyed without saying another word. Sophia spent the rest of the night crying. She knew her life was over, not because anyone had discovered the truth, but because she finally understood something terrifying. She didn't just love Daniel, she loved him enough to destroy everything. The next morning, Amina returned home. She was smiling. She brought gifts. She hugged Sophia. She kissed Daniel. And as she looked at the two people she loved most in the world, she laughed and said, "I missed you both so much." Neither Sophia but Amina noticed, and for the first time, a small voice inside her heart whispered a question she never thought. Welcome back, my dear listeners. You know, sometimes our hearts notice the truth long before our minds are willing to accept it. A smile becomes different. A conversation becomes shorter. A look lasts 1 second too long. And suddenly, the people we trust most begin to feel like strangers. That was exactly what was happening to Amina. At first, she told herself she was imagining things. After all, Sophia was her sister. Daniel was the man she was going to marry. The two people she trusted most in the entire world. How could she ever suspect them? And yet, something had changed. She noticed it the first night after returning from her trip. Normally, Sophia would sit beside her and ask 1,000 questions. How was the journey? What did you eat? Did you bring me a gift? But that night, Sophia barely spoke. She smiled, she answered questions, but her smile no longer reached her eyes. Then there was Daniel. He had always looked at Amina with warmth and excitement. Now he looked at her with something else. Guilt. At first, Amina ignored it. Then she tried to explain it. Maybe they were both tired. Maybe she was overthinking. Maybe wedding stress was affecting everyone. But then, something happened. 3 days later, Amina was cleaning the living room when Daniel's phone, which he had accidentally left behind, began ringing. Normally, she would never touch his phone, never. But the caller's name caught her attention. It simply said, S. She smiled. Probably Sophia, she thought. Without thinking, she answered. Hello? Silence. No response. Then the caller ended the call. A strange feeling passed through her. She told herself it meant nothing, but for the rest of the day, she couldn't stop thinking about it. That night, she called Sophia. Did you call Daniel earlier? There was a pause, a very small pause. But Amina noticed. No, Sophia replied. Amina forced herself to smile. Oh, okay. They ended the call, and for the first time in her life, Amina felt something she never thought she would feel toward her sister, suspicion. The next few days became torture. She started noticing everything. The way Sophia suddenly left rooms when Daniel entered, the way Daniel avoided eye contact, the awkward silences, the unfinished sentences, the guilty expressions. One evening, Amina couldn't take it anymore. She went to visit her childhood friend Miriam. Miriam listened quietly as Amina explained everything. Then she asked one question. Amina, do you trust them? Amina answered immediately. Of course. But even as she spoke, she realized she wasn't sure anymore. Miriam looked at her carefully. Then don't ask what your mind thinks. She touched Amina's chest. Ask what your heart already knows. Those words followed Amina all the way home. That night, she couldn't sleep. She remembered every strange moment, every suspicious look, every silence. And for the first time, she asked herself the question she had been avoiding. What if they loved each other? The thought terrified her. She cried, she prayed, she begged God to remove that thought from her mind, because if it were true, she would lose everything. The next morning, she made a decision. She would find the truth, no matter how painful it was. 2 days later, the opportunity came. Daniel called her. I have a business meeting tonight, he explained. I'll probably be late. Amina smiled. No problem. Then she called Sophia. Would you like to have dinner with me tonight? There was another pause. I'm sorry, Sophia replied. I already have plans. Amina felt her heart stop. What plans? Just meeting a friend. Amina smiled. Okay. But after hanging up, she sat silently for several minutes. Then she picked up her keys. That evening, she followed Daniel, and for the first time in her life, she prayed that she was wrong. She followed his car through the city, past the market, past the river, past the old cinema. Finally, Daniel stopped near a small restaurant overlooking the lake. Amina parked far away. Her hands were shaking. Her heart was pounding so hard she thought she might faint. Then she saw another car arrive. A woman stepped out. Amina's world collapsed. It was Sophia. For a moment, she couldn't breathe. No, no, no. This couldn't be happening. She watched as Sophia slowly walked toward Daniel. She watched as they stood facing each other. She watched as Daniel reached for Sophia's hand. And then she saw something that shattered her heart forever. Sophia began to cry, and Daniel pulled her into his arms. At that moment, Amina didn't scream. She didn't cry. She didn't run. She simply sat there, watching, as the two people she loved more than anyone else in the world destroyed her life. And my dear listeners, what Amina did next was something that nobody, not even Sophia and Daniel, could have imagined.
Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned to the Untouchable Chronicle. The next part of this story will leave you breathless.